Shalom. Welcome back to the Hebrew Heritage Channel. Today we're going to be in Genesis chapter 6 and we'll discuss Noah and the ark. So go ahead and grab your Bibles and something to take notes with and we'll get started. Genesis chapter 6 verse 1. And it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So in verse 2, it says that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. So you got to break this down because this is a controversial verse. The sons of Elohim consisted of Seth, Enos, Adam, and Noah. And the daughters of men, some people say that those daughters were angels, but they weren't. They were the daughters of Cain. And those daughters were intermingling with the holy seed, which in this verse would be considered the sons of Elohim. This isn't multiple nations intermingling with each other. This is one seed, and that seed is the seed of Adam. But what we have here is the holy seed mingling with the evil seed, and that evil seed is considered Cain's daughters. Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Elohim came in unto the daughters of man, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old men of renown. And Elohim saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Verse 4 is another controversial verse. People say that the giants mentioned here are the results of angels having sex with flesh and blood women. This is false information, and it comes from the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch is suspect. According to the book of Enoch, these giants were over 2 miles tall. Wouldn't these giants have survived the flood if during that time the flood waters rose to the mountains? It seems like these giants could have swam through it. And why haven't their remains surfaced since, being that they were over 2 miles tall? Seems like their remains would have been found by some archaeologists in the land. This would have been a great story to mention in the Bible, but Moses never mentioned the angels having sex with women and having giant babies. The disciples, prophets, apostles, or the Mashiach never mentioned it either. This would have been fantastic, that the angels could procreate with flesh and blood women and have baby giants. It should have been mentioned in the law books, the history books, and all over the Bible. But it's not. And you have to look at that and ask yourself, why? Why is the book of Enoch where you find this information? The book of Enoch is made up. The book of Enoch was written in the Ethiopian language. How is it possible to have been written during this time when Cush wasn't born yet? They say Enoch knew the Ethiopian language and wrote it before the Ethiopians were born. There's too many holes in the story. The Apocrypha and the Pseudepigrapha say that Enoch went to heaven and came back with 366 books. Where are these books today? By the way, if you look up the word giant, In the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, it means bully or tyrant, not a man with great stature. This just goes to show that you have to read the Bible and break it down and try to get great understanding to understand what these words really mean. If you don't, you can be led astray. So, if the word giant means bully or tyrant, then the book of Enoch stating that it's because these men were over 2 miles tall just goes to show that the book is suspect. And that's why I only read the Bible to get all the information. That's all the information we need. He left it for us. It's our history book. Everything you need is in the Bible. You really don't need any other book. Okay, let's continue. Verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. So a lot of people reference Paul and they say, we are not under law, we are under grace. But here in Genesis chapter 6, verse 8, the law wasn't given yet, but Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. The word grace is like Yahweh giving Noah a pass. Let's continue. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. This is a result of Satan taking over the world. Being the prince of this world, we now have violence all the time. You see it today. Everything on the news is violence, violence, negative, violence. Let's continue. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And Elohim said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. A replica of the ark was built in Kentucky. Cubits based on the Hebrew measurement is 18 inches. The Egyptian cubic is 22 inches. This story is being told to Moses, so this ark here will be based on the Egyptian cubits. Moses learned the ways of the Egyptians. Verse 15. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side of thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shall thou make it. So the instructions on how to build the ark was given, and I want to give you a reference on what these cubits look like. So 300 cubits long would be 450 feet, 30 cubits high 45 feet, and 50 cubits wide is 75 feet. Okay, let's continue. Verse 17. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. And of everything of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten. and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that Elohim commanded him. So Yahweh is about to flood the earth. The earth is about to go back into the midst of the waters that was mentioned in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. And if you haven't listened to my previous videos, I do recommend that you go back, start from Genesis chapter 1, work your way up to chapter 6, where we just ended. And that way you have a foundation of what's been happening from the beginning to now. And you can better understand what we're discussing, because everything kind of builds on top of each other. But next week we'll be in Genesis chapter 7. And I just pray that you guys have a wonderful, blessed week ahead. I'm going to try and do the same. And until next time, family, be blessed. Bye-bye.